Martin.
It's Wednesday, May 26, 2021. Roland Martin Unfiltered, broadcasting live from Fort Worth, Texas. Well, I'll be talking with Deborah Peoples, who is hoping to become the first black mayor of Fort Worth.
He's got it. Whatever the biz, he's on it. Whatever it is, he's got the scoop, the fact, the find. And when it breaks, he's right on time and it's rolling. Best believe he's knowing. Putting it down from sports to news to politics. With entertainment just for kicks, he's rolling. It's on go, roll, y'all. It's Roland Martin, yeah. Rolling with Roland now. He's funk, he's fresh, he's real, the best, you know he's Roland Martin now.
All right, folks, we're here at the Petroleum Club here in Fort Worth, where I spent a little time soon after college working here, so know a lot of folks in the room. One of the folks I crossed paths with while I was here is Deborah Peoples. She is now running for mayor of Fort Worth. She took first in the general election, ahead of a number of other candidates, and so now, June 5th, there will be a runoff taking place here in Fort Worth, and we certainly welcome her to Roland Martin Unfiltered. How you doing?
I am doing great.
Right here, you gotta grab the mic,
I am doing great, Roland, doing better since I see you.
See, I told you I was coming.
I know, but
You thought I was joking?
Roland, I know you.
Right. I mean, look, when I hit Tashara Jones when she was running for mayor of St. Louis. I said,
Absolutely.
hey, we're going to bring this show to St. Louis.
Oh, you brought good luck.
And so, hey,
there
she
you
won.
go. Yes.
In a runoff.
Yes.
In a runoff. First of all, how's the campaign been going thus far?
Oh, the campaign is going great, but it's going as expected. I knew, Roland, they were going to come after me. And so we have just been working hard, doing what we do best. And so they are coming after me, but I'm like Obama now. I can take it. I got big shoulders. We are fighting for the soul of Fort Worth, Texas. We are fighting for all the people out there who aren't represented. So they can dish it out, but I can take it.
When you say that they're coming after you, exactly how so? Has it gotten a little dirty thus far?
Oh, you know it has. Well, you know all the catchwords: defund, anarchy, socialist. You know all of that. The pictures of you where you don't look, you're a little darker than you really are. All those things. So, but that's okay. I can handle it.
Because you part of the light skin club.
Roland Martin.
If this was a time join a cruise, you'd be on Tom's team, not J. Anthony Brown's team.
Not quite. Okay, not quite.
So they got you. They got you looking like J. Anthony. Is that what
Yeah,
they doing
they got
to
me
you?
looking like J. Anthony. I got to cover my feet, my hands, and my mouth sometimes.
What are the 2 or 3 dominant issues that you're running on that you say that need to be changed here in Fort Worth?
Diversity and inclusion, diversity and inclusion, diversity and inclusion. We are the 12th largest city in the United States. We're a majority city, but on issues like economic development, on parity around education, our children dominate in the public schools. On issues around good jobs and housing, we still continue to lag behind. It is worse now than when you were here.
Wow. When you talk about on economics, we have a segment called "Where's Our Money?"
Yes,
and we've been, matter of fact, right before we came on, I was Byron Allen calling me, and we've been going after these companies, these ad agencies. That frankly, they've been spending 1% and 2% with African Americans.
Right.
But in the case of General Motors, we spent 12% of their cars are bought by us.
Absolutely.
McDonald's, 40% of the dollars go to McDonald's bought from African Americans. And our whole point is, y'all got to do more in terms of Fort Worth. What does it look like for black entrepreneurs when it comes to contracts?
So that's it. So Roland, flip the switch when we were just talking about, the number of people who buy cars. We are 35% Latinx, 20% African American, but we only get 2 to 3% of contracts. It's ridiculous. We are not moving ahead. And even though we try
That was the case. Again, I was a City Hall reporter here from 93 to 95, and I remember writing. I remember writing about the stories then.
Yeah,
that's almost 20 years ago.
So it hasn't changed, and that's the problem.
30 years ago.
That's right. I tell people they don't know, but Fort Worth used to have a Black Wall Street with Bill Gooseneck McDonald. Riverside used to be one of the most powerful areas in the city. Now we are fighting each other to get contracts. COVID really wounded our black and brown businesses. They were struggling to survive, and that should not be the case.
So if this is a majority minority city, how are you trying to get to those 2 major voting blocks to realize that sitting at home means your power stays at home? And so what has been your strategy trying to get them to return to because it's harder for people to come out and vote for the runoff. It's a lot more difficult.
That's right. We are walking and talking and knocking on doors and talking to people. Roland, people need to understand all politics is local. We like to talk about what's going on in Washington, and I know you were just talking about this bill, but things happen right here on the ground. When people talk about they don't get jobs, they don't have transportation to get to work, they don't have a good place to live, that's local policies. That's not national policy. So we go to the door and have a conversation with people about how what happens locally impacts you. There are so many people who say, I only vote in the presidential elections. Well, I'm going to tell you, Joe Biden ain't going to come down here and fix your street. I mean, that's not going to happen. He's not going to come, put a light bulb in over your house. The things that matter are the things that are here locally. And the whole issue around public safety, all of those things are local issues.
So how are you combating the folks who are trying to use defund the police against you?
So I tell everybody, people know me. So, Roland, I didn't have to come to the community and say, I'll take a tour. I am here every day fighting. People know, I didn't mean that as a pun, but people know me. I have been out in this community for a long time. They know how I am. They know my brother was a policeman. They know my sister was a constable. So, but I also tell them I'm a person of color. I understand law enforcement, but I also understand how it feels to be a black man in a suit going to work, get pulled out of your car, and you have to go face down on the ground. That has got to change. And so I just tell them, I call them, like I said, it's a lie. Stop lying. Just like when you show a picture of me, and I'm sorry, looking like J. Anthony Brown. So, I'm proud to look at people in my family look like J. Anthony Brown, but you're doing that for fear mongering, and I just call it out for what it is: race baiting and fear mongering.
So this is a mailer here. And
Yeah,
so,
that's one. It says, I'm a tax and spend person. I just spend all these people's money.
If she's elected Fort Worth mayor, Deborah Peoples wants to go on a spending spree with your tax dollars.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
And how are you responding to this?
Because it's not me that goes on a spending spree, it's them. I didn't go and buy Pier 1 for $77 million. I mean, I don't make, when we had people who were homeless and people who were losing their jobs because of COVID, and we had a chance to buy 2 motels to do permanent supportive housing for homeless people, I didn't make the decision to not buy the motel and go buy Pier 1. So you tell me who's tax and spend, who's spending all the tax dollars. The facts speak for themselves. We have a government that has not been hospitable to its citizens, and that is the wrong way. We run this city. The city hall is our house, but people feel excluded from their house. There's something wrong with that.
I talked about Latinos and African Americans, but how are you also talking to white folks in this city, especially broke white folks? I keep because I keep saying this all around the country. I mean, the reality is, this is it can be deemed a conservative city. That's one of the phrases that you'll hear. You have the current mayor has been there 10 years, and so her chief of staff is running. And so you've had Kay Granger, who was the mayor when I was here, now a Republican member of Congress. But one of the things that I keep also saying is that broke white folks in the same position as broke black folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I tell people. I grew up in a black, brown, white neighborhood, Roland. We didn't know we were poor till we got out of the neighborhood. But the issues are the same. And so when I go and talk to people in neighborhoods, I tell them the same thing. What kind of job do you have? Do you know we are a blue-collar city. We're a working-class city. Most of our residents do not have a college degree. 30% of our residents have college degrees. The other 70% have some college or high school, or some of them didn't even finish. How are you benefiting? We have to have the conversation, what's working for you? And I will tell you, people, there's an economic divide. They have the same issues that we have. They could just go across the street, though, and not be seen as black, where we are black and brown our whole life.
So how is your message being received by non-black, non-Latino voters?
So I think it's been received very well. We could not have gotten to the runoff had it not been for white voters. Because I'll tell you, it is a learning process with black folks and people who look like me. Only 20% of the votes that were cast on May 1st were cast by African Americans. We are going back now to talk to all of those people. So if you didn't vote May 1st, you can vote on June the 5th. But we are going back to talk to people to say you didn't vote on May 1st, even the ones that told me they voted for me. I can tell whether you voted or not. But, no shame there. But I go back. And
see, you nice. I'll be like, yo, ass lying. Right here, you ain't vote. See, you not.
Roland,
that's why I will never run for office.
Roland,
I probably would start. I keep telling people I would start with 20,000 votes, probably end up with 5. Because I'm way too honest. I'd be like, you lying. Stop lying. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Roland, it's a work in progress. We have to make people feel good and to grow and to believe. And so that is what I do. I mean, that is what I do, and that's why I know I'll be a great mayor. Unfortunately, sometimes I want to tell the truth, but I know it's not in the best interest of the city, so I will work with people to build collaboration.
You tell the truth, but you don't. You tell the truth. You don't want to be hardcore honest.
Okay,
you say it, but you got sugar and honey, and you got all that. I got sea salt.
Okay, well, and sometimes you need sea salt, but right now we need sugar and honey because people need to believe that change is possible. And I don't care what color you are, what religion you are, what your sexuality looks like. People need to believe that change is possible. And that is what I'm working to do, is make people believe that, yes, you can get your share of contracts, that, yes, we can build decent infrastructure in your neighborhood, that, yes, best. You deserve a decent job and a good way to get there. And people have been beaten down so long, they don't think they deserve it.
I'm going to do this here. So, Anthony, we're going to do this. Trust me, I wasn't planning to do this here. So I'm going to take a few questions for some folks here. And so we're going to pass the mic, just like in church. If you have not been vaccinated, don't touch this microphone. So I assume if y'all got masks on, y'all ain't got y'all shot. So this is how we're going to do it. If you ain't got your shot, put your mask on right now so I can separate who's got the shot and who hasn't. If you have not gotten your shot, don't touch that microphone. I'm telling you right now. I don't want to spray you down with all kind of stuff. All right, then. So we're going to take a few questions from the audience here. So who's first? All right, got a brother in the back. Come on up. Come on up. I want you to stand right here. Come on up. And you got to move faster, bro. We live. Yeah. I'm like,
Do you need this?
Huh? Say it again. Okay, all right, well, Alpha, you got to move faster than that. I mean, you pick that pace up.
You here, Roland, always.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Peoples,
Okay.
transportation.
Yes.
What do we do about transportation, multimodal, connecting regionality, jobs, getting to Alliance, getting south? How do we create transportation to create economic development for our people, workforce?
So that was a trick question because he knows that's one of my big issues and it's multimodal transportation. Roland, I was sitting in a meeting and they told me that a sitting city council member, a mayor, said he would not ride the city bus. I'm like, well, if you don't ride the city bus, you mean to tell me the city bus is good enough for all of us? We need to develop a multimodal transportation system so that we can get to jobs. They're putting the jobs out at Alliance and Irving, other places. If our people are going to have to come out of their neighborhoods to get jobs, we need good transportation. Great cities have great transportation systems, and we don't have that in Fort Worth. We gave up our shot, and Dallas has it. Mm-hmm. So when you go to Dallas, Dallas has light rail because they got our money. And Cheryl is laughing over there, but she knows it's true. Okay. So, I mean, we have got to work on things. And this is what I tell everybody. Everybody says, well, we don't have the money. I said, but that is why you plan. That is why you come up with a master plan and you say, okay, it's going to cost $2 billion or $2 trillion. How do I go and get that money? And I don't see that happening.
All right. Next question. Next question. Right here.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
Oh, no, we don't play that. All right.
Hey, sweetheart. Okay. Hello.
All right.
Okay, well, following up with that question, I'm proclaiming future mayor of Fort Worth. How will you bring Fort Worth out of the red into the black and restructure our budget so we can flourish as, what the 16th largest city in our nation?
She said 12.
Oh, we moved up. Okay. Yes.
So let me tell you. Roland, since you've been here, the tax base has flipped upside down. Now, residents pay for 60% of the taxes, and businesses only pay for 40%. We have to flip that structure. We have made some decisions that we put it on the backs of residents. But the way you do that is it's not an immediate fix. You got to find new revenue streams. And so you've lived here. You know when you want to go out on a Saturday night or something, you go to Dallas or you go to Arlington to the ballpark. You don't stay in Fort Worth. We send our money out of the city. We have to find ways to sell this city. Yeah, Ruby Woolridge, I know you up there saying bring that money to Arlington, but I want that money to come. I want that money to come to Fort Worth. And so if that means I got to find ways to sell things here. Do you know everybody says we're just the city of cowboys. No, we're not. We're the city of so much more. But I will tell you, there were Buffalo Soldiers, there were black cowboys, there were vaqueros, there were Asian cowboys. We have to sell this city, and we have to bring people here, and tourism is a quick way, Roland, because those are dollars that are not coming out of our residents' pockets. And so my job as mayor is to go out and sell this city, and that's what we're going to do, and bring in new revenue streams so I don't have to keep taking money out of your mama's pocket. I see your mama over there, not yours. Okay.
All right. Next question. She gonna sit here and raise her hand. You ain't coming near us. Oh, no. Hell no. No. Just enjoy being in the crowd. I don't know, y'all sit next to her. Y'all playing around. If you gonna take a selfie with me, you're gonna be 10 feet in front. I'm gonna be in the back. All right, go ahead. What's your question?
Deborah, we're all individuals. We only get one vote. What, as individuals, can we do to make sure that you get the votes to become the next mayor of Fort Worth?
Oh, so that's easy. So I get so tired of people telling me I'm with you, and I voted yesterday. I said, so how many people did you take with you?
Oh, that's like the people who say, Pastor, I'm with you. They ain't sitting no tithe, no offering. They ain't prayed for nobody. They ain't brought nobody to church.
Look at my pastor over there.
They ain't done none of that. Right.
So that's it. So attorney, take somebody with you. We know people every day, our friends and family, who don't go vote. We have a sacred obligation to go and drive up and throw them in the car and say, you gonna go vote. You know, the way we win this, I'm telling you, only 20% of the vote came from African Americans, but guess what? Our population is 942,000, almost 1 million people. 20% of us are African Americans, and that means that's 180,000 black folks in this city. If you figure that 50% of them are registered to vote, that's 90,000 black votes out there. And we only had 63,007 people vote in this election, so 20% is 12,000 votes. We left 78,000 black votes on the table.
So the total number of votes cast in the general election was what?
Was 67,000. 67, 68.
67,000.
Yeah.
Based upon how runoffs go, it would be shocking if a total number of 40,000 people voted.
Well, we're hoping it's at least 60,000, but you're right.
No.
You're
What I'm saying
though.
is, if you look in terms of how there's a dramatic drop off.
Yeah.
So the reality is, if you do the math, if you get 20 again, Roland normally go, you get 25,000 people come out and vote, you the next mayor.
That's right. That's it. But it's getting people to believe. And I will tell you, I work all the time in the Latinx community. Gabrielle knows 35% of this city is Latinx. Only 7% went to vote.
Wow.
We have got to do better, but part of that is because we've been so browbeaten to believe that we can't do it. People keep telling us that this is a conservative city. We keep getting told that our vote does not matter, that we don't count. And so that's a big part of what I do, is making people understand that we have the power. We just have to own it and believe it and go vote.
Absolutely. I'm gonna take one more question. I got a guess. Hold on. I'm gonna go here. Okay. Then I have a guest who I'm gonna go to next. Then we're gonna come back and ask more questions. I got you. Breathe.
Okay.
Breathe. Come on. Girl, you got to move. No, you're trying to be all cute. Yeah, you better go and ask this question.
Deborah, can you please explain to us what the Fort Worth Way is and what that means and why it's so important that we change that in this election?
The Fort Worth Way.
Well, and you've heard that, too. All our life, we've heard the Fort Worth Way. That means this is the way it's always been. And this is the way it's always been, doesn't work for a lot of us. And so that is why I'm working so hard to change it. Roland, my mantra is one Fort Worth. It is one Fort Worth. It is not the Fort Worth way. It's one Fort Worth. It is all of our way. And until we start changing that, we're going to be in the same position that we were.
You said, what is it? Same old same.
That's it.
That's what it is.
That's it.
That's what it is. They in control, you not. That's how it is. But again, though, this is what, you know, look, we do this on our show constantly. When numbers are numbers, and it's getting our people to understand that we can literally flip numerous elections if we just simply vote our power. If white voters stay the same, you take our numbers, we could literally win any number of different places, but folk got to be willing to actually step out and actually cast the ballot.
Yeah, and they got to be, you know, we have to. I tell people all the time, we are extraordinary. The fact that we have survived and we thrive in these United States of America. I don't want to take anything from anybody else. I just want to have the same opportunity. I want to enlarge the pie. Roland, we've been convinced that the pie is this big, and we have to fight each other. If you get a slice, Roland, I got to fight you because that means I get less. No, there are opportunities out here that are incredible, and we have been convinced that all we get is this much of the pie.
Which actually is not even a slice, is crumbs.
That's right.
And I changed that. Hold tight 1 second.
Everybody, it's your man, Fred Hammond.
Hi, my name is Brescia Webb, and you're watching Roland Martin Unfiltered. Ow. Well, I like a nice filter usually, but we can be unfiltered.
All right, folks, welcome back to Fort Worth, where we have been here talking with Deborah Peoples, who is running for mayor. The runoff is June 5th. Folks, you have to understand the power of the ballot, so you must use it. So there are folks who have been assembled here. They had a meet and greet earlier. And you know what? Folks walk into the room. I'm going to go ahead and call them up. So I saw Congressman Mark Vesey stroll up in here. Congressman, come on up here. Come on. Come on up here. What's going on? Good seeing you. Good seeing you. You know, when in your city, had to bring a brother up. How's it going?
Everything's going good. Everything's going good, Roland. Good to see you. Welcome back.
Always glad to be back in my home state of Texas. I will avoid Austin because they acting the fool, the legislators up there. So, you know, I ain't trying to get shot by folks who, the no need for a permit or whatever. These people swear it's the Wild Wild West. I don't know what's wrong with these crazy folk. Share with us, in terms of what do you think Deborah Peoples will bring if she's sitting in City Hall in Fort Worth?
Well, I think that Deborah will obviously bring a certain level of dynamicism that is like really missing from City Hall. You saying last mayor boring as hell? Is that what you're saying?
Not
necessarily saying that, but we need to get away from the status quo.
Okay, all right, I'm just checking. I'm just saying. Yeah. Ain't got much flavor there. I'm just saying you want a little more flavor at City Hall. I got you. All right. Yeah. Like seasoning, non-seasoning. Salt and pepper, Tony Chachere. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And and generally speaking, honestly, I don't really even get that involved in the municipal races. I'm a Democrat. I'm very active in Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and other Democratic causes, and I usually stick with that because, in my opinion, the City Council, their job is to make sure that the fire and police are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be making sure that water's going the way it's supposed to. They're supposed to be taking care of these basic bread and butter issues that people don't care about if it's Democrat or Republican. They want to make sure that these services that the cities are supposed to provide, that they're being done. And so
folks don't care about it until it don't work.
Until it don't work, that's right.
I always get a kick out of folk who say, man, that stuff don't matter. Yeah, then your water stopped running, then all of a sudden you like, who the hell? Who should I call? Well, no, you didn't say it mattered, so we ain't gonna get a number. Right.
But in addition to those services, Roland, I will tell you something, that this city is growing very rapidly, but there are other things that are happening here that people don't really see. And one of those things is that, we're losing jobs here in the city of Fort Worth. You look at downtown Fort Worth and I can just start naming off companies one by one, whether it's XTO, whether it's Radio Shack, Dickies just got bought by a company out of North Carolina, and so on and so on and so on. And for black people in America, we work at larger companies. You go to any national black organization, whether it's Links, whether it's the Deltas, AKAs, and you go to these national conventions and you see black people that have experienced upward mobility in America, and they usually experience it at a larger company. These little small companies, they don't really employ us. You know, if we are successful at a smaller ventures because we have our own law firm, or we have our own dentist practice, or we have our own doctor's practice, we get opportunities at bigger places. And the places in the Metroplex that are bringing in new jobs and new growth are happening outside of Fort Worth. Deborah has the experience. She has worked at the executive level at one of our nation's largest companies, and she knows what it will take to be able to bring more jobs to the center city. That is going to be good for African-American growth here in Fort Worth and Tarrant County.
I do want you to speak to this, and this happens a whole lot. Anytime I get a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, I really want them to explain this. It really gets on my nerves when I deal with a bunch of ignorant-ass black people who CBC ain't nothing. They don't do nothing. I don't know what they doing. They're failing us. And I have to explain to people that, first of all, you don't even understand what the role of a member of Congress is. That's one. When you talk about those basic services, the reality is the phone calls that come into a member of Congress's office dealing with Social Security checks, dealing with very basic fundamental things, all those things absolutely matter. And most people get caught up because they say, well, I don't see so-and-so's name on bills, not realizing that most people names will not be at the top of the list on a particular bill. And so speak to the folk who, again, who have this view that the CBC is a do-nothing group that has no impact on black America. Because, I mean, I deal with that a whole lot. And people are like, man, why are you defending the CBC? I'm like, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you that, you know, one of the things that Donald Trump did was that he took credit for the amount of money that the HBCUs got. A lot of you probably saw that on the news. And he was going around the country doing a victory lap, talking about all this money that he brought to HBCUs. That was a Congressional Black Caucus. That was money that we worked and fought hard for and insisted on before the final budget to make sure that HBCUs got those monies. So
the bill was from Congressman Alma Adams in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Trump didn't know what the hell that bill was.
No, not at all. Not at all. He did a photo op with some presidents and said,
and
look at all the money.
And then he lied, kept saying, oh, they would never get, now they got permanent funding. No, it's literally one initiative that was started by President Bush, renewed by Obama. Then we had Walter Kimber on, the president of Dillard University, who broke it down. But again, the lie kept going. I mean, I even had black people saying, Trump saved HBCUs. I'm like, how dumb are you? I mean, it's just it's not like they passed an annual $5 billion allocation to HBCUs. That's a different conversation. But that's the thing that again, we had to walk people through. He had nothing to do with that. Was Congresswoman Alma Adams' bill.
Absolutely.
And then also, the CBC put money in the Farm Bill. Also went to land-grant institutions. And again, that's the stuff that people don't know, and that it does not show up when they have bill signings.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, there are so many different things that we do that people don't think about. I mean, like, for instance, I fought very hard in this last stimulus bill to make sure that we had money for cities to be able to put broadband into neighborhoods. And there are 5 neighborhoods in my district, one outside of my district. Como's outside of my district, but everybody know that I have love for Como because that's where I'm from. And Como got some of the money, too.
Yeah, they cuss you out.
Yeah.
You don't come home. Yeah. They be like, man, you better send a check.
See, Attorney Leon Reed, he knows. So, yeah, I mean, and so it's things like that we do.
See, Mark, I got to help you. All right. See, Mark, you just sped past that too fast. So you need to unpack that properly. You got to slow it down. You got to say, as a member of Congress, there are 5 neighborhoods that are getting money directly where black people live to get the internet. See, Mark, you got to say it that way, Mark. I'm just saying, I got to help you out. You know, because you explained it like a member of Congress does. You got to say, no, and then you got to name the 5, Mark. You got to name the 5. See, you got to, see.
Yeah, we got Ash Crescent, we got Rosemont, we got, help me out, Stop 6 got some, Como got some, and Northside.
That's right. So next part, so you got to say, so all y'all live in these neighborhoods, if your internet, you now have it improved because I got the money.
And if you have a young person in school, like I have a 15-year-old that finally, thank God, went back to school like 2 months ago. But if you have kids at school, then you know how important this is for you to be able to have access to this broadband because, you know, it was hard enough to keep up with internet services at home. But imagine if you don't have those. And a lot of our young people didn't. A lot of our young people had one Chromebook for their entire house.
But that's why representation matters. And people don't always see that. We understand issues because we live in these communities. We experience these things. And it's not about taking something away from somebody else. It's making sure that our children have access to those things. And that's why we were so impacted by COVID. And that's why I talk about education a lot. You know, the Zoomies and the Roomies. The Roomies are the ones who came back to school, but the Zoomies are the ones that we lost. They're sitting out there. They don't understand what's going on. They check out. They're sleeping on the Zoom call. And so representation matters because we know issues that impact our community and we're going to call attention to them.
That's right. I said I was going to take some questions. Come on, sister in the back. Wake up. Come on. Y'all back there. See, right there. She just said folks were sleeping on the Zoom. Come on up. I got the singer Major. He's waiting. He's my next guest. But we're going to take about 5 minutes of questions here. I got you. You ain't got to stand up. I got you, boo. I got you. Come on. Come on. There you go.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sophia. Oh, God.
Sophia, you ready to vote?
No. She's 14. I'm 14.
I'm just checking.
I
ask everybody.
I have friends that are 18, and I'm trying to make them vote.
You going to make them vote?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, just checking. Just checking.
So during the pandemic, a lot of my friends have been facing a hard time during school and, you know, struggling with, you know, their education. So I was wondering how you would address that towards my friends and how, you know, try to make them vote and go out and help tell other people and my friends to how to go vote. Thank you.
All right.
There's a budding politician here.
Then you got to tell me where you got that shirt from. That's a nice shirt.
That is a nice shirt. That is a nice shirt.
Well, if y'all selling it.
Sophia.
Come over here. Turn around. Right there. Come on. Slide this way. Right. Get it right camera. Y'all need to see the shirt. All right, that's nice. I'm telling you, it's a nice shirt. I'm just saying. It's a Juneteenth shirt.
That's right. So, Sophia, any mayor that doesn't care about what's happening with our students is crazy and they're letting us down. You are going to be making decisions for me in the next 10 years, baby. You're going to be 24. In 20 years, you'll be 34. You'll be deciding what nursing home you're going to put me in. And so we have to partner with our ISDs and all of our schools around here to make sure that we are providing you with the curriculum and the tools that you need to be successful. And there's a State Board of Education member here, Aisha Davis, and she knows that. We got to make sure that stand up.
I'm trying to sit down.
That's right. Stand. Okay.
Hold on. Why we ask black people to stand up? And they how they stand up. Like, Aisha, stand up. Stand up. No buckle knees. Stand up. She's trying to be all humble now. Look, you ask me to stand up, I'm going to stand up.
But that's why representation matters. Because she's down there in Austin fighting about what goes in your textbook so that you know we didn't come over here voluntarily to go clean up houses and stuff. It was involuntary. And so we're going to partner. We're going to be joined at the hips with schools. And I'm going to meet with superintendents all over and teachers to talk about what you need and what the city does to make it better for you.
All right. Mark, go ahead.
And let me say this too. The reason why you want young people to go out and vote for Deborah and go out and vote for city council and all these other races is that ultimately that's how you really make change. Now, I'm not going to, bore everybody with any history lessons, Roland. But let me just say this. If you go back to the civil rights marches of the 1960s and you look at the two key pieces of legislation that were really instrumental for black people. And the reason why I'm here now, you look at the Voting Rights Act, the reason why I get to serve in office right now, it is because of the work that was done in Congress. Not to diminish the work that Dr. King and the marchers did. That was hugely important because that's what brought the problems that were happening in America to full circle so everybody could see. But if we didn't pass that legislation on the House floor and on the Senate floor and get it to the president's desk like we're right now trying to get George Floyd passed, then it doesn't make a difference. So you have to go and vote. And you have to make sure that young people vote so we can have people that are going to look like us and people that are also going to represent us and the things that are important to our communities. And that can only happen by going out there to vote. So go vote for Deborah.
All right. Next question right here. You got the vaccine?
Oh, yeah.
All right, just check it.
So
Oh, you just want to show your bling bling mask? I'm just messing with you.
I don't show my face.
I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
I don't show my face on any kind of publication. So speaking on education and the good
Hold the mic up. Hold the mic up. There you go.
the good point that you made with now HB 3979 passed in Senate and the House.
For everybody who don't know.
For everybody who doesn't know, that's critical race theory being taught in your schools. That point that you just made wouldn't even be told in our schools. So because of white fragility and white tears and their whitewashing of history, what are you going to do and what do you feel about that? And then also I wanted to know about how do we go about educating those who are against the CRT, but they really don't even know what it is.
Okay, first, look, I'm gonna start answering this first. I got this. First of all, 99.9% of the people out here talking about critical race theory don't know what the hell it is. They have no idea. They can't spell CRT. They can't define it. They don't even understand it's a theory. They don't even you got all these crazy white folks who are passing bills, and I'm saying it right now, in Oklahoma, other places. Oh, we're not going to teach critical race theory in our schools. Fool, it's being taught on the college level. So, but you have to understand what the strategy is. Next year's the midterm elections. Republicans need to drive white conservative evangelicals to vote. They cannot criticize President Biden on the American Rescue Plan, the COVID bill. His approval rating is 60% or above. So they have to find wedge issues. So all of a sudden, critical race theory has become their wedge issue. They are appealing to unsophisticated, clueless, uneducated white voters who all they hear, they don't hear critical or theory. They hear race. That's what's driving it. In fact, Charlie Sykes, who was a conservative out of Wisconsin, radio talk show host, he actually did a piece on it, and that was one of the folks who's against this. He literally articulated what their strategy is. Control room, tell Major I'm coming to him. I'm not going to go along like I did last time. And what he did is, what the guy did, and again, I need us just to understand what happens, what their game plan is. Because I think what happens is, a lot of times we are fighting folk, not realizing what the deal is. So this is a guy, Christopher Rufo. Mark Lamont Hill had him on his show. This is what he said. We have successfully frozen their brand, critical race theory, into the public conversation and are steadily driving up negative perceptions. We will eventually turn it toxic as we put all of the various cultural insanities under that brand category. This is what he tweeted this. The goal, and he tweeted this in March 15th, 2021. And this is, y'all can look at it at Real Chris RUFO. The goal is to have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. We have decodified the term and will recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with, he put Americans really mean white Americans. So that's what they did with defund the police. That's what so you have to understand what the strategy is. And so we have to counter the strategy by saying, no, we're not going to play your white tears games. And then what has to happen is, at every time when somebody steps up to the microphone to decry critical race theory, we got to say, what is it? Define it. No. Don't tell me you're against it. Define it. They can't. And so, but what happens is, whenever these things happen, and then look, I'm someone who I fight with words. This happened all the time when I was on CNN. So what happens is, what they do is, they want you to immediately go into defensive mode in defending it to counter them. And what your strategy has to be is to, one, take a breath and then say, so what is it? No. Please define critical race theory. And then you wait. And then when they say, well, no, you tell me what it is. No, you brought it up. So please, I need you to define me what critical race theory is. Then I need you to explain to me where critical race theory is currently being discussed. See, now what happens is you now have cornered them. So that's what's going on here. So when you have now school boards and Republican-controlled state legislatures passing bills to say you can't teach critical race theory, it's not even being taught. What their real goal is to not discuss anything. That's why I hate the 1619 Project. Because you got to remember, this is all a part of the deal. They don't want the 1619 Project or anything dealing with it because they want what is his story to continue to be defined of what American history is, and not we now can read, which is one of the reasons why they didn't want us to read, and now redefining it. And so when I talk about how America is changing, what is changing is that how they have defined what it means to be American. They have defined what it means, what morals, values, principles are. What happens now is black people get to say, oh, no, we can talk now. Latinos say, we can talk now. And so we now get to define what American values are. So when we say American values, we have to learn to begin to say, no, those are white American values. And so that's why they reacted the way they did with Colin Kaepernick and the flag. But see, you realize none of them wanted to talk about Jackie Robinson in his book, I Never Had It Made, when he said why he did not stand for the flag, nor did he cite the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, see, they won't criticize Jackie, because, see, they love Jackie, because Jackie is a civil rights mascot that they put on just like Dr. King, that how basically is like a civil rights bobblehead. They don't want to deal with that Jackie. And so we have to understand what their game is. And so that's why OANN, Fox News, Newsmax, Conservative Talk Radio, they want us to be on the defensive with them on race. We have to understand. It's like when I had the white supremacists on my show, Richard Spencer. See, the whole bunch of clueless-ass black people were like, oh, when he asked you, who were you? You told him you were a man, a Christian man, and you a black man. I say, no, dumbass, you don't know how to debate. He was expecting me to say I'm a black man. But when I hit him with I'm a man, if they watch the video, he was like, then when I said Christian man, he went, then his whole, where he was about to go, he was completely thrown off track. I said, so for y'all who don't know how to debate, I forced him to change his whole deal. Now he was kind of like, damn, hold on, I'm a man too. I'm a Christian man too. See, so he was waiting for that. So we have to be very cognizant of what their games are. This is their game. It's all designed for 2022 to drive white turnout in the midterm elections so they can take back the House and the Senate. That's their strategy. All right, so I'm going to take questions from my panel, so I'm going to have to relay them to them because Deborah doesn't have IFB. So, Monique, do you have a question for Deborah Peoples?
Doggone it, I wanted to tell Major congratulations. But
Girl,
yes,
if you want to tell Major congratulations, send him a text. We got time for all that.
Right. Okay. Yes, I do have a question. Well, first of all, congratulations. I'm going to just go ahead and say congratulations to the next mayor. But what I'd like to know is... She said, congratulations to the next mayor. I feel like I'm an interpreter. You would like to know... Wasn't I speaking in English? Monique, come on. I want to know what we can do.
She wants to know how to give money to my campaign, right? Okay.
All right, so Monique said, folks can't vote for you. How can they help with your messaging? And Deborah said, send her a damn check. Deborah said they got the messaging. She just need the money for the messaging.
But also tell Monique she can tweet about me. She can go on social media. She can tell people about my campaign. Tell them to go look up Fort Worth so they know we are the 13th, soon to be the 12th largest city in the country. And I know it hurts people's feelings in Atlanta and D.C. and New Orleans, and my New Orleans family is here tonight, but we bigger than all of that. And so we are a city to be reckoned with, and we're going to be do great things when I am mayor. But I'm a Deborah, D-E-B-O-R-A-H. It's Deborah Peoples for mayor.com. You can read all about me. You can donate to the campaign. You can sign up to volunteer. We do phone bikes. And wherever you are, Monique, you can make calls from wherever you are.
Hey, Scott, you going to send a check,
Yes, sir.
Scott. Scott, look, Deborah, his name is Scott Bolden.
Okay, all right.
His name, he gets a lot of Democrats. His name is, he ran for mayor in D.C. He got about 11 votes. But so
true.
Scott Bolden. So everybody who works, I thought you ran for mayor.
There's Dr. Michael Brooks, my treasurer, Scott Bolden, Dr. Brooks.
All right,
Okay.
so Dr. Michael Brooks, in the next 48 hours, you should see, in the next 48 hours, Scott, Aloysius Scott Bolden, in the next 48 hours, they should see your name appearing on that website with donations, Scott.
Hey, I'm going to give to her if you pledge your love for Cap. Pledge your love
You
for
said
Cap.
you're going to give to her about,
$1,000.
if I pledge my love. Wait, you said if you're going to give her $1,000 if I pledge my love to Kappa.
Yes.
Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
Take one for the team.
Is that what you said?
I'll give her, hey, watch this.
I want to be clear.
I'll give her
Hold up. Go ahead.
$2,000 if you pledge your love to Kappa right now.
Okay, Scott just said he will give $2,000 to Deborah's campaign. Hold up. If I pledge my love for Kappa. I got this here. I love kicking Kappa's ass. Boom. I just pledged my love to Kappa. See, Scott, you got to be specific with your question. Your question, your request was too general. No. The key phrasing was my love to Kappa. I use love and Kappa in the same sentence. Am I lying? No, Scott, that's what happens when an alpha outsmarts you Kappas. Hold up, Scott. We alphas love to outsmart you Kappas. See, I did it twice. Send that $2,000, and they gonna let me know in the next 48 hours. Matter of fact, Scott, get a website right now. Scott, pull your credit card out right now. Open up another window on your computer and send the money right now. And they gonna let me know if it hit. No, come on, pull your American Express card out. Deborah, give Scott the website.
Deborah, D-E-B-O-R-A-H, Peoples, P-E-O-P-L-E-S, for mayor.com. And Scott, I am sending you some Delta love.
Good. Hey, Scott, ain't your wife a Delta? Scott, ain't your wife a Delta?
No, she's.
Scott, is your wife a Delta or AK?
No, she's not.
She ain't Greek? But I don't know why she married you. All right. Hey, Robert Patillo, sell one of them 45 guns you have and send that money to Deborah. Robert Patillo, no, Scott, you don't get a question. You got to send a check. No, Scott, what's your question?
I can't ask her a question? Damn.
No, Scott, you want to ask a question, you got to send $3,000. See? The price go up. What you want to do? See, he ain't trying to ask a question now. All right, Scott, what's the question? Hurry up. Scott, hurry up.
They really do.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott, you're a lawyer. The FCC does not regulate online. They only regulate broadcast entities.
Well,
that's the
whoever
law.
regulates
See, boy, I keep telling you,
get on
Alpha.
their job. Whoever regulates you
Hey, Scott,
needs
nobody
to get on your job.
Scott, my mama and daddy don't regulate me, so you need to go ahead and be quiet. Robert Patillo, what's your question? Or you gonna send? No, Robert, you gonna send some money to your lawyer. Robert, you need to send some money to the Deborah campaign.
Roland, I work for a nonprofit. That's the difference between me and Scott and his palatial estate.
Hey, I don't want to hear that nonprofit stuff. Sell one of those AR-15s you have and go and raise some money. You know all the guns you love in Georgia.
Next to me right now, besides this one. But I did have a question. What we have
Robert,
seen
go
is
sell that gun. Come on, what's your question? Hurry up.
We've seen police unions attack many black female mayors, from Keisha Lance Bottoms in Atlanta to Mayor Lightfoot in Chicago. What would be your strategy for police reform? Because they like to use the pejorative term defund the police. What would be your strategy for bringing more accountability in law enforcement?
You said police unions are attacking black female mayors all around the country.
Absolutely.
And is it happening here? And what is your response to them about police reform? And so how are you responding to that?
So, Robert, absolutely. We've already gotten a classic defund the police mailer. It's already been out there. But I tell people all the time, my brother was a policeman, my sister was a constable. We want to be safe in our homes just like you want to be safe in your home. We want transparency and openness. And when something happens, like the Tatiana Jefferson shooting, we don't want to wait days to get the tape. We want to see the tape right then. And people want to see justice done. I mean, it's just that simple. So I can take their attacks. I mean, can take their attacks all day long. But until we change the face at the top, we're going to continue to see that same kind of battle going on. And that's why I'm out here running for mayor.
All right, then. Scott, Monique, Robert, I certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much. To all the folks who are watching, who watch us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Periscope, and Twitter, this is why we launched this show September 4th, 2018, because an opportunity to give voice to folks. As I said, we were in St. Louis with Tashara Jones. We're here. We've been actually in other cities as well. We spent 5 weeks. We literally moved to Georgia to help John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock win there. This is what happens when you own your own stuff. You don't have to ask somebody for permission, and that which is part of the issue. That because bottom line is when we have to ask other folk to cover us, then we might get 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes as opposed to being able to broadcast live from 2 hours. And so I appreciate Bishop Spears having us here at the Petroleum Club. Want to thank everybody for coming out here as well. For those of you who are watching, y'all can support this show. Your dollars make it possible. Last year, our fan base gave $672,000 to our show to make it possible for us to do what we do. Support us via Cash App, $RM Unfiltered, Venmo.com/RM Unfiltered, PayPal.me/R Martin Unfiltered. Zelle, of course, is Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. So folks, use any of those platforms. So I was in the show, I say holla. So on 3, Zim, give me a wide shot. Give me a wide shot, Zim. On 3. Okay, y'all ready? Zim, there you go. No, keep it right there. All right. 1, 2, 3. Holla!